Hello and welcome back to the Best Boys Spooktacular Spooktoberween. Oh no, it's a Frankenstein.
Yep.
Thank you, Joe.
Yep, you're welcome.
I'm glad they'll have to go ahead and fix that in post.
Yeah, no problem. I always like to make your job harder.
But so movie we're gonna see today. We're gonna watch Eraserhead.
Yep. Some would consider it David Lynch's magnum opus.
Now, I only know a little bit about Eraserhead. From what I understand, it's about a dude who has a funny hairstyle and he raises a baby that's all fucked up.
Yeah.
And that's the extent of it that I know. Other
Yep.
than your Facebook picture was the guy on the cover of it.
Yeah. I used the iconic image for a long time. I think it's my Steam profile, too.
Maybe. But we tried getting a DVD copy to read off like we always do at the start. We just couldn't get a hold of one.
No. The DVD copy I have is in Korean. It's the Region Zero bootleg that was easy to find for a little while. But now Criterion's released it, so I'll probably upgrade the Blu-ray at some point.
Yeah, but since we don't have the DVD cover in front of us here, we'll go ahead and we'll have a super short intro here, and we'll just go ahead and end it, and we'll come back to you guys once we've watched the movie.
Cool, yeah, definitely check this out if you want to be in a nightmare you can't wake up from.
Oh, I call that every single day I live, Joe.
Yeah, I call it Mondays.
Alright, so that was Eraserhead.
Yeah. Yeah, did you fellas at home watch along?
Oh, I sure hope you did, because this was just a fucking nightmare.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what David Lynch says. It's a dream of dark things to come.
It was just... This entire movie felt like a series of vignettes that are just individual nightmares. There's kind of like... I would... At least three, like, I think more, like... I feel like you could easily split these up into individual nightmares that someone would have.
Yeah, probably.
You know, there's the very intro of the movie is and I kind of picked up on this along the way. I'm not sure which things are supposed to be like metaphors and which are just like, hey, this thing would look real fucking weird. Let's put it in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, the very start, the dude's just kind of staring there blankly. He's got a like unidentifiable growth on his head.
Yeah.
Or was...
Well, no, it's kind of like a planet behind him.
Okay. It was probably intended to look like a weird growth on his head at first until you realized it. And then there's like these white pools on there. There's a guy pulling levers. And then a thing gets dropped in the pool. And the movie starts off. There's... what was the main character's name again? I forgot to write it down.
Henry. I don't think he ever gives the last name.
Henry Lastman. The setting of this movie is very dark in a literal sense, in that pretty much any window you see just kind of goes out to darkness.
Yeah.
Constantly throughout the entire movie, you hear, almost constantly, you hear wind violently rushing past you. Imagery, there's a lot of weird imagery. There's in the main character's home, there's just piles of dirt that have a tree like growing in them without any leaves and shit. It's just on the table.
Well, yeah, he can't afford pots. He ain't even got a pot to piss in.
Yeah, he works at the factory. Well, actually, he's on vacation now.
Mm.
He's walking home. He's got a bag. It's never revealed what was in that bag.
No.
Or was that scene cut?
No, I don't think so. It depends, because we've never seen the cut scenes. They're lost.
Really?
Yep.
Actually lost, or just they were never released?
I mean, Lynch is pretty good about releasing his scenes, because he normally shoots just a ton of footage and then just makes a movie out of whatever. Now, I've never been able to get this confirmed, like I've looked for it, and it's never really happened, but the rumor is that his ex-wife burnt the footage. Yeah, like burnt his master copy.
The movie opens up after that scene. We get the title drop. And then it shows him, Henry, walking back from work. You never see, what his actual job is, but he's walking. It's very jittery and odd. It seems like every seventh frame is kind of sped up or cut. There's the little bits cutting out there. Entire time, every time there's an outside scene, there is background noise.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a violent ambient noise. It's very unsettling.
Yeah, they released a soundtrack of just that noise.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's just disturbing noises.
Yeah, and there's also the song in it.
Oh, that's right. What were the lyrics of that song? Like the two lines that just repeated over and over and over again?
Yeah. In heaven, everything is fine.
Yep, something, you'll get yours and I'll get mine.
Yeah. Yep, so wouldn't you like to buy that soundtrack?
I'd buy that for $1.
Yeah, let me tell you.
He gets to his home and he has this weird bag, takes some stuff out of it, gets invited to his lady friend's house for dinner.
Yeah, sounds like a romantic evening.
Oh, very. He gets there, he's walking across like abandoned black and white train tracks. And this is when you brought up something about the world that I wouldn't have really caught up on.
Yeah. So basically, like, this is a, like, industrial wasteland. It's, like, basically Lynch, like, lived in, like, a big city and he didn't like it, so this is kind of what he thought of it. And, like, it's probably post-nuke. I mean, that's what most people think it is. David Lynch will not tell you anything about what this film is about. So, like, people just have to kind of, like, infer for themselves. So, most people think that the noises coming out throughout the film are actually just, like, the atmosphere itself making that noise.
It gave me a real Oddworld feel, if you've ever played those games.
Yeah, like, Munch's Tasty Treats, or New and Tasty.
Specifically the first two, the Abe's Odyssey and Abe's Exodus, where you're going through rupture farms. It's a very similar industrial, very gross tar, rust, black and white sheets of metal, that kind of feel.
Yeah, or like Limbo.
Yeah. But Limbo sucked, because it was a bad game.
I liked it. It's got some good puzzles.
But he goes to the parents' house, and then everything gets real weird from there, and I'm not sure if there was a deeper meaning behind anything that happened there. I feel like that's where the first nightmare comes in. We're like, oh, this is pretty much this could be a separate, self-contained nightmare. Where he goes to meet the parents, they sit down, the salad is made by the mother going into the kitchen, grabbing like their grandmother's hands and mixing the salad, and then giving her a cigarette, and then going to... There's a lot of very small things that are just odd. The entire time there's like a weird sucking noise, which is coming allegedly from a dog that's nursing a litter of puppies.
Yeah, no, that wasn't me this time, because normally I like sucking on my thumbs and fingers and stuff while watching the movies.
Just making obnoxiously loud noises.
Yeah, or like trying to chew on my own feet, like some kind of rabid wolf.
Yeah, but he gets like cornered by the mother, and then she starts trying to seduce him. The father comes out. He's like, so, what do you do? And he's just got the same expression on his face. The girlfriend lady is just in the background. She just starts crying. The fucking... They get some turkeys out of the oven, and he cuts into it, and like it starts bleeding.
Yeah.
And... Alright, Sponge Gar? That's this movie, where it's just... Ooh. Like, I was so lost during this entire thing that eventually I'm like, yeah, no, this isn't the type of movie you're supposed to like try and find a logical... It's not going to fucking work.
Yeah.
The closest thing I could find to a logical thing between everything was kind of the visual like metaphor of like chickens and birds. In the parent scene, there's the tiny chickens that they're eating. Or we're going to eat, but they touched it and it started like shitting itself.
And they let it get cold.
Yeah, they let it get cold, and the mother like had an orgasm and then ran away. I really don't know if there was like a greater meaning to when they were sitting there and then the daughter starts like scratching herself really fast and the mother goes and brushes her hair and she calms down. I don't know if there was any meaning to that.
Yeah. I mean, people think it might be like wasteland, like brain, like stuff,
Wasteland brain stuff.
like kind of like melty brain.
Oh, where you just got the melty brain.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like whenever you have like a nice ice cream cone, but then just half of it's all slopped down on the cone itself, and you're getting all over your fingers, and you gotta lick your fingers clean.
I guess so.
Yeah.
But the mother asks them. They have a baby, and it's at the hospital, and they got to go and pick it up once they get married. And so the next scene is you see the baby, and the baby is probably the most well known part of this movie.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The baby looks excellent.
All right, so tell me about the baby, Joe.
No one knows anything about the baby. David Lynch will not tell anyone about it. He made the cameraman like blindfold his eyes whenever they were operating it. And then after the film was done, he took it and buried it somewhere in the desert.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what? I'd believe that. We watched just before recording this a little short 5-minute clip of David Lynch saying like, "Oh yeah, I went and got a cat and I dissected it." And I was like, "Oh man, that's crazy." Anyway, then I dumped it in tar and left it there for a year, and then I left it on the ground and left it there for a year, and then I'd do it again. Whatever. I'm a fucking crazy man.
Yeah, well, I mean, he knows how to make movies.
I guess so.
Yeah, yeah.
If you know how to make movies, you can pretty much do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Alfred Hitchcock did it.
Oh, yeah, he didn't like those birds.
Like Harvey Weinstein, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, he keeps grabbing at the girls' boobies and the boys' balls. He just squeezes them until they burst. People don't like that.
And this is another kind of self-contained nightmare scene where he's looking at the radiator, and the radiator's slowly getting covered by more and more dirt as the movie goes on. And I don't know if that's kind of a metaphor for... Because throughout the entire movie, neither one of these people want to be a parent to this weird fucked up bird thing that just keeps screaming.
Yeah, yeah, but that's like normal babies.
Yeah, like none of them want to be a part of it. And I don't know if he's looking at his radiator and thinking like, "Oh man, I don't want to be a part of this. Like, get me out of here." And then because you see bars of the radiator, where it's just you look through the bars and you see outside there's a bright light, and then it cuts to a stage. There's a lady with giant chipmunk cheeks that are like jaggedy, kind of.
Yeah. It's like she's been stuffing golf balls.
Yeah. And then I assume that's like a cherub thing, like because cherubs got those giant cheeks.
Oh, yeah, yeah, and they're always naked, too. She wasn't naked.
Yeah, she's just like very, very nervously dancing, stepping on and then those sperm snake things from the opening that were all over fall down. She steps on them and they shoot out white goop.
Yeah.
Fucking, it was... So that was like the second or the third self-contained nightmare?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, with that one, he actually is sleeping, probably.
Yeah, because then when he wakes up afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, there's 2 times he wakes up, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
But, in the entire time that this movie's going on, it feels just like one continuous nightmare. Like, it felt like this movie was going on for 6 hours. Like, it felt like I, passed out and was just going through the motions of, all this crazy shit.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I frightened our cousin Olivia with it.
Huh.
Yeah, she was probably 13 or so, and then I made her watch it, and she had nightmares.
Well, yeah. Fucking, there's a scene where he commits, I guess, adultery with the neighbor across the way.
Yeah.
And they kind of melt into a pool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was actually milk. They were just, in a big, thing of milk.
I bet that scene was a bitch to film, because you had to see... Milk, goes bad pretty fast, I'm sure.
Wow. Yeah, but what the actors don't know weren't her them.
But, so, I don't... The only real connection I can see between all the things that happen in this movie is the chicken. There's the tiny chickens at the start. The Eraserhead baby looks like a chicken. It looks like a baby chick with just a soft, fleshy beak. And then it's kind of a weak comparison. Like if chickens were more prevalent throughout the movie, I mean, there was the cuckoo clock that was a chicken, I believe, that would go out, and then spin around and go back. But and also the name of the movie comes from the dumbest fucking shit ever. So
Yeah, yeah. Well,
that was
it's like a nice dream scene.
It was fucking dumb. He I think it's yeah, he goes on the stage again, and he meets that cherub cheeked girl, and he goes to hug her, and then for whatever reason she's like, oh nope, disappears. And this scene was actually pretty unsettling because the way that which he handled it, he stepped up onto the stage because all you see is the stage and everything around it is pitch black. So he goes up on the stage, and then things suddenly change, without logical reason as they do in a dream. And then he starts getting scared and he like hides behind a thing, like how you would in a normal dream. And then he's just sitting there and then his head pops off. And then a thing rolls out and blood starts leaking from it. And then his head falls down and a little kid takes it, turns it into a pencil. Pencil Eraserhead. Fucking dumbest bullshit on the planet.
No, he got erasers for brains.
It's fucking stupid.
No, he's got a big old eraser in his head. And you gotta mine it for pennies and quarters.
It is fucking dumb.
I don't know. You
then
gotta
after that is the final scene of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
In which he, I guess, just decides, fuck this baby, I'm done with it.
Yeah, I want out. Get me out.
So tell me a little bit about that final scene there, Joe.
Oh, well, you do what you gotta do whenever you have a young baby in the house. You take a pair of scissors, and then he thinks he's just going to, like, cut through, like, the cloth, like, it's wrapped in, but that's actually its skin. It's got, like, weird, hard, mummified skin, so all its organs are just, like, all out and about. And then he sees something he really likes in the liver, so he just goes, stabs it, and then a bunch of pus comes out.
Yeah, a bunch of pus comes out, and it just starts screaming, as you do when someone cuts your insides open.
Yeah.
And then the thing just starts, you know those cattails? A cattail, you can actually, like, kind of stroke it, and it shoots out 1,000,000 seeds. Which might have
My cat don't do that.
It might have actually been an intentional thing. Cattails, if you, like, they're like the things that look like corn dogs at, like, a pond and shit. Know what I'm talking about?
I don't like outside or the outdoors.
Yeah, that's where they get you. But it starts shooting just like this weird, almost looking like whipped cream frosting shit.
Ooh, can you eat it?
I mean, it was either that or it was literal shit, because I couldn't tell because it's black and white. But it starts spraying that, and then, like, as the thing's dying, he looks away, looks back, its neck is 6 times longer, looks away, looks back, its head is, like, jumping all over the place, looking like a goddamn Donkey Kong Country villain. It looks at him, it jumps towards the camera, and then he hugs the cherub cheek lady, and the movie's over.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's how all movies should end, with a hug.
I guess so.
Yeah.
But, so this was definitely, it felt like a dream, which I've always been, like, wondering, ever since I was little, like, how come no one's ever made a movie that just feels like a never-ending dream?
Yeah.
And I just chalked up to, they probably don't exist because it's really hard to capture that.
Oh,
no,
David Lynch does them.
And no, he did it pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't think he could have done it any better to capture that dream shit with the logic of a nightmare or dream without it becoming silly and weird and taking you out of the moment.
Yeah. I think he might have done it a bit better in Lost Highway, even the dream aspect. It's in, like, all of his movies. But no, I mean, yeah, this definitely is, like, a waking nightmare. So this is basically filmed over 5 years.
5 years?
Yep. Yeah, they had no money.
But isn't he some big famous movie actor guy? Isn't he a big famous director? How did he not have the money?
No. He became famous because of this, but beforehand he was just like a film student.
So this was. Oh God! Then how did they make that? Because the puppet for this movie for the baby is really, really good.
Yeah, it is.
So how the hell did they get the money to make that thing?
Well, they had $20,000 for the entire film.
$20,000. I mean, yeah. I mean, all they had to do was film on location. I'm sure that they didn't get charged to do that. at the weird place they found there.
Well, it depends, because they had to keep, like, taking down and rebuilding sets because they would get, like, they had to, like, move because other people wanted to film in that location and stuff. Because a lot of the building stuff is actually, like, on, like, the college, like, rooms and stuff that they have. So, yeah, I mean, for David Lynch was just sleeping in that room for, like, a year. And, yeah, he just had to sleep there.
Sleep in the set room?
Yeah, in Henry's bedroom.
Oh, God.
Yep. And then that actor had to keep his hair like that for 5 years.
For 5 years?
Yep.
What if you wanted to put on a hat?
Nope, not allowed. You gotta just make sure your hair's, like, all, like, poofy. Yeah, and then, so, like, there's actually a shot where basically Henry, like, opens a door and then goes through it. And then the next shot, he ages 2 years, because that's the next time they could, like, get that.
I mean, I didn't notice it, so...
Yeah. No, David Lynch has said he will never reveal how that, baby was made. Maybe it was a real thing.
Oh, man. I imagine it was... Because this was what? The mid-70s?
It was filmed from 72 to 7.
I mean, really, all it did was wiggle kind of in a circular motion and open its mouth.
I mean, its eyes can move, too.
Yeah, I mean, its eyes can move in a few directions, I guess. I can see... I mean, if he's at a college campus and they had an engineering, like, course... It could just be as simple as that.
Well, what people think it is an embalmed calf-like fetus. Yeah. I mean, that's what people, like, think it might be after just seeing the film.
I mean, maybe. I mean, I'm not an expert on calf fetuses, so I really don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I saw some pictures.
I'm sure you've seen some pictures, Joe.
Yeah.
But, so... What did you think of this movie, as someone who is a big fan of this director?
Oh, well, I love it. I probably saw it, like, maybe 5-6 years ago. I got the Korean bootleg. I ordered it from, I think it was, like, a rip-off eBay site. And, yeah, no, I mean, I loved it. It's got, like, a really nightmarish tone to it. I mean, it's one of the only films that scared me. Well, I mean, not... Because, I mean, back in the day, whenever I was, like, 10 or whatever, I'd be scared by whatever. I was scared of gremlins. Because it's pretty spooky whenever the things pop out of his back.
What about this movie scared you, Joe?
Well, I mean, just, it's basically a combination of the noise throughout the entire thing. And then you never really... The first time you watch it, you don't know what's going to happen, so... I mean, like, anything could be around the corner.
Yeah, because I was sitting there thinking, like, okay, I mean, he's hugging this cherubim chick. Are her cheeks going to explode into spiders?
Yeah, maybe she'll, like, bite him. She'll get, like, big, like, vampire fangs.
Yeah, because, like, I'm sitting there thinking, like, how is this... Because about the middle of the movie, I'm thinking, okay, how the fuck is this movie going to end?
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, I was like, okay, you know, there's this weird... You know, the weird baby thing... When it gets infected and gets diseased at one point, like, he turns around, looks back, and it's covered in, like, spots that look like maggots.
Yeah.
You know, the inside of its mouth is all dry and yellow, and it's all fucked up looking. And so I'm thinking, like, damn. I mean, it kind of looks like that guy from the beginning pulling the levers and whatnot. Is it going to be a cyclical in nature thing? And then I'm like, because, you know, this movie's going to end in one of three ways. Either, one, it just ends. Two, it goes cyclical in nature, goes back to the start, repeats around again. Three, like, the baby's going to die.
Yeah.
If for whatever reason before, you know, it reaches adulthood or whatever. But, yeah, I mean, it's fucked up.
Oh, yeah. Because, David Lynch's daughter was actually born, like, before this. Like, a couple of years before he even started, like, scripting and stuff. So she was, like, born with a club foot. So people think that may have inspired Lynch to make this.
The club foot aspect of just a genetic disorder?
Yeah.
Any other comments on this film and the director's... any of your opinions on some of the choices that they made in this?
Well, I was going to say, though, people think that what the film could be about is it's like a nightmare of a man who just, like, killed his wife and child and is about to kill himself.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, at a certain point in the movie, the wife just disappears. Uh, and then he kills the baby at the end. Uh, yeah, no, I mean, I could see it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So like, Mel Brooks actually saw this and really liked it. And that's how, Lynch got the funding to do The Elephant Man, which is his next movie. And then between Eraserhead and Elephant Man, I mean, that's what really shot him into stardom. And he was pretty much just able to do whatever he wanted to at that point.
Kind of like Hitchcock, where they're like, okay, use a bunch of money, do whatever the fuck.
Yeah. Well, so George Lucas actually really wanted him to direct Return of the Jedi.
Really?
After seeing Eraserhead, yeah.
After seeing Eraserhead, I was like, oh yeah, Return of the Jedi, yeah, this will work well.
Yeah. But now Lynch didn't want to do it. He did Dune instead.
He did Dune?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. No.
I did not know that he did Dune, because I like Dune.
And that almost crushed him.
Almost crushed him?
Yeah. Yeah, because they took it away from him. Because I think his original cut was like 5 hours long. And then they took it down to like 90, 100 minutes or so.
God damn it, why do people... I understand, but also like, I want to see that. I want to see the 5-hour version.
Oh, yeah, yeah. There's, Orson Welles made a movie called Greed back in his day. It was his masterpiece. It was 8 hours long, and the studio took it and trimmed it down to about 90 minutes. All that exists left of it is like a 3-hour cut.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I think we're getting a little off topic here, so final thoughts on this. It is not as scary to me as It Follows, but I think that may just be because on a surface level, It Follows was spookier. From a psychological standpoint, I think this movie is probably more unsettling because I'll probably be thinking about this movie more than I will be thinking about It Follows.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just because of all the small stuff in this movie.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and plus, like, probably, like, whenever, like, we go to sleep tonight, like, I'll be, like, banging on the floor and making noises to make you think of the movie.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's why I keep a loaded gun under my pillow.
Well, I mean, I say I'm Texas, and there's no way you're going to shoot the heart of Texas.
That's true, Joe.
Yeah.
Heart of Texas, god damn it.
I got boots, and these boots were made for walking. Oh, god damn, there's a snake in my boots.